In part two of this interview, Shakeila talks about dating, depression, and starting her Keratoconus Foundation. Caribbean Perspectives starts now.
I would tell like one or two people, and they always gave me this sad look. And then there were questions that I just didn't want to answer. So I rather not tell anybody, because you can't look at me and be like, oh, she has something wrong with her eyes, unless I say it. And I'm very reserved and shy about certain things. So I would just keep a lot of things in. I'm accustomed to before keeping everything in and dealing with my own problems.
That's true when you said you can't look and tell, and that a lot of people would give you a lot of compliment on your looks, your beauty, you're always smiling and all of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did that affect you when people were painting this picture of you as this perfect human being, but at the same time, you're going through something that was so challenging, that was threatening your career, it was threatening your dating life, which you mentioned, which we'll talk about at some point. How did that affect you, if in any way?
Well, actually, looking back, like it took me a couple years, but looking back, it made me realize that to always treat people good, because I was so good at faking being happy. Because during that time, the only times that I was actually happy is because I had a support group. I had as a support from Derry, right? The one person that actually knew, and then my family. But other than that, I was depressed. I was suffering from depression, and nobody knew. I just had a smile. So I always try to be kind to people, because it could be a fake smile that I'm seeing. It could be a facade.
No, this one stumped me. This is why I say it stumped me, because to say that you were depressed,
Mm-hmm.
I I I'm lost for words. If you understand what I'm saying, knowing her, and if you, Kiel, I'm sure you'd have seen her around campus too.
Yeah, right. That's why I said, I mean, I've seen her, and if I remember correctly, she danced, or was it Derica who used to dance when they had the Derica, you used
The
to
both
dance,
of
right?
us, the both
It
of
was
us.
true.
That's
Okay.
it.
I think I remember dancing, right?
Big
And
girls.
you were there, and you never know. I think they dance for everything that we ever had. They danced,
You can
right?
only, I lived on the same, only see,
So you never knew.
never knew because girls, both of them, first thing first, when they get up, them have this, I don't know if it was Parry. Parry had this little basket with a whole set of toothbrush and something, because she's going to stand up over brushing her teeth in the bathroom. She
Oh,
was so,
Shaki had the basket.
they have it.
No, you know who had the basket? It was Kenny had the basket, not me.
Oh,
Kenny
oh.
had the basket.
No. And
Mhm.
you would, I just know that they're going to get dressed. This is their, this gonna head out because they're party girls, they're happy, they're going, and you just see them hit across the corner, they're gone. And to see that you were going through something so serious, you didn't even tell administration. And this is what this is what is impressive for me. You're struggling with this rare disease. There is not a lot of help. By this time, you're on to doctor number 4. You've developed an infection. You can't see. You have no family there. You have one friend, and you're hoping and praying that she's loyal and she will honor your personality, which is very, very hard to find, especially at that age. In that she will walk and tell people your business. Because if she walk and expose you, you will feel exposed
Mhm.
because of how you want to be the strong person for yourself, this independent woman. That is your entire reason for even living in Barbados by yourself.
Yeah.
It just shows that depression doesn't have a face.
Mhm.
It just doesn't have a target. So there is a part of your blog which was touching for me, and it's your conversation with, and I don't even know which number doctor we're at now.
Mhm.
If you could send that to her, it's your conversation with the doctor. I think this was after your infection, and you
Yeah.
um to the doctor, and I think this doctor, she, I don't know if this is how you felt, but I think, let me know if I'm correct in saying
Mhm.
that day she was more than a doctor by the question she posed to you. So just read it and just let me know. I think
All
it was
right.
number
Let me
7.
see which one is this one.
It's all about, as I was about to grab my bag and leave. This was doctor number 7.
All right. As I was about to grab my bag and leave, she pulled her chair and sat in front of me. I know you want your life to be normal, but until you start living like someone with keratoconus, you wouldn't be able to do so, Dr. Number 7 said. you're pushing yourself, pushing your eyes to do more than it can handle. Right now, you're able to live on your own, do some things just within the limited time space. So what are you saying? I should quit my job and let go of everything I worked hard for? I replied, trying my best to fight back the tears. I can't tell you what to do with your life. Only you can do that. I'm just saying that you need to start thinking long term, what's best for your eyes and you. This was after the infection. This is when I was working. This is when I got my dream job and I was in it, yet I didn't tell the partners or anybody really within the firm that I had the condition. So I went to the doctor and she was really kind. She changed my life, I would say that. Right? It was painful, but I needed to hear what she had to say because nobody told me that. And she was the first doctor to she was the second one, because after the infection, a doctor sat me down and told me that I needed to start taking things seriously. Derry, you were there with me at the hospital, right? The guy that sat me down, yeah. So that was a tough one to bite. So after getting what I worked for and then hearing it again, and then knowing that I had to walk away from everything that I worked really hard, that I lost my sight for, I couldn't swallow that pill. And I didn't know, I was so accustomed to planning out my life and going according to my plans. Again, I felt like I had to start over and I just was stuck. So I remember going back to the office. That was the first time I feel like everybody in the office saw that something was wrong, because I couldn't keep it together. As soon as I went in, I sat down at my desk and a colleague just turned and be like, what happened? And everybody just looked at me. It was like, you okay? And then I just got up and I went out. And I just started crying in the bathroom because I couldn't keep it together.
By this time, which country? Because you've moved quite a lot. You've lived.
This was in Barbados.
Barbados. So you got your job. You're in your apartment. You're still alone in this country by yourself. You've left Huey. Derry, you were still in Barbados at the time? Were you still in Barbados? You had, so Derry is gone. Your support system is gone. So you were actually alone this time.
Yeah.
Did you eventually say to your job, this is what is happening to me? Because obviously now you have your dream job. Studied hard, you're where you want to be in life. I have the job, what the most I'm going to do to me? I can tell the truth now. Did you tell your employer?
Not until that visit with the doctors. Before, I didn't want to tell them because I didn't want again the pity party, and I didn't want them to think, okay, she can't handle a big client because of her eyes and then just get a bunch of small clients. I wanted to be treated like everybody else. I wanted to be normal, right? So after finding out and thinking like I needed some advice. So I went to one of the partners and I told her like the condition that I had, and she was like, oh, you should have told me sooner. Like we want to know. We were wondering why you were on sick leave like so often and stuff. Shockingly, like every year I was being promoted. I didn't know how, when half the year I was like pretty much out on sick leave. So she was saying how you've been performing so well, but they had these questions like why she was so, is she okay? Why is she always on sick leave so often? And they wish that I told them sooner, but they don't hold it against me. They understand. And they actually gave me time, which I would always be grateful for that. They gave me time to find out what I need to do between the time and be like, whenever you're ready, just come back.
And that's good. So because between that time and present, you had to do a lot of travel, including traveling to Miami. Got care in by this time, St. Vincent, Barbados, Trinidad, and you were traveling to Miami to look for solutions. You were changing out contacts. There were so many different names of contacts that you tried. At one point, because at one point you were saying when you squint, you could literally feel the contacts, even just by squinting. And I can't imagine what that must be what that must feel like. By this time, when did you, have you left that job in Barbados? Yeah, you would have left that job in Barbados.
I left, yeah.
Did your life change in any way from that point to say, okay, it's my health above my job? Or do you say, I'm not giving up? I'm going full speed. I need to continue to get promotions. I'm getting new jobs. I'm going to live my fullest life.
Mhm.
Did you start throwing yourself a pity party at any point?
I did actually. I started feeling sorry for myself, and I became somebody that I'm not accustomed to, because I wasn't finding myself. I didn't know. I was so accustomed to plans, and then this is me going out, not having a plan, not knowing what to do. I was in Trinidad. I remember it so well. It's like I was in Trinidad, and I was like, okay, my aim is to go back to Barbados, go back to my job at the end of this. And I went back to Miami, and they were able to, one of the eye, my left eye was able to pass the test to qualify me to do a procedure that would slow the progression down and help strengthen the left eye. But it wasn't always guaranteed that it would be successful. So I ended up doing it. It was successful. The healing process now, I couldn't see. I just had to be on bed rest for a while. And that's me and my thoughts. And I struggled back through depression because I didn't know what was my next step. And deep down, I knew I had to let go of the old job, the job that I worked so hard of. And I'm like, but where will I go? What will I do? I knew I couldn't be in like accounting. I couldn't be an auditor because the time frame is too much, right? The time span, the hours putting, I can't do it. I have to think about myself. I have to think about my health, and I have to make the most of my life. And for once, I didn't want to be normal. I just wanted to be myself, and I wanted to be happy. I didn't want to be like happy one day and then sad one day and just be up and down. I wanted to constantly be happy and start doing things for myself.
Man.
So yeah.
At one point you mentioned to that your life is basically waking up, making breakfast, going to work, going back home, because you were so afraid of going out at night because you need someone to assist you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you at any point, I need to ask this, did you at any point get like treatment for depression, or is it that something, us Caribbean people tend to say, if I'm feeling depressed, or
Mm-hmm.
I try to treat it myself, that as in, you try to take breaks from your job or whatever, or did you get professional help in that
No,
regard?
no. Like you said, no one knew about my condition. But when I thought back, when I was on bed rest and I thought back of my life, along my path, I met people that they weren't qualified therapists, but they were brought to my life for me so that I could learn to open up.
Yeah.
So I ended up going on my first job, my first year, first couple of months into my first real job. I had to go to Anguilla, and I ended up meeting, so random, I ended up meeting a minister, and he came into the boardroom one day because he was the FC, and he was like, there's something about you. And he had to talk to me. And I'm like, okay, this is very random. I thought he was coming to flirt with me. So I was like, I can't have this old man flirting with me. I was like, geez, come on. So he was like, okay. He was like, there's something about you. And he was drawn to me. And I was like, here we go. And he's like, there's something that you're dealing with, that you're holding on to, and that you need to let out. And I'm like, what? What? He's like, there's something that you're dealing with personally that you've had bottled in, and you need to let it out. So he said he wanted to pray for me. He told me he was a minister. And I was like, oh. So I thought about it and I agreed to it. And he wanted me to talk about something, the what I've been bottled in. And the moment that I lost my sight, that was the hardest moment to pretty much talk about. And I didn't realize how hard it was and how much weight it was like holding on me until I said it. I cried about it for about 45 minutes, talking to him, opening up about the moment, because I blame myself every single day about that, because I felt like I put everything before my health, and I never wanted to do that. So fast forward, I ended up meeting somebody else, learn a lot about myself, open up more. And bit by bit, I got out of my depression. So you mentioned that I said I was scared to go out. I was just living a routine life when I was working in Barbados. And then one time I was just like, oh, Lord, I just want to be happy, please. Like, me, I know our relationship got in the best, but I just want to be happy. That's it. And then he was just like, I got a voice, and I'm just saying it's him. And he said, well, just be happy.
Wow.
I was like, hi. So he was like, if you want to be happy, be happy. And it took me a couple years to realize what that voice meant. It's my choice. I can't put it in anybody else's hand. Nobody else could help me. I had to do what made me happy. I had to start making decisions for myself. I had to start living a positive life. And now I could finally say that I am in a happy place. I am genuinely happy, where I could smile and I don't want to cry. I don't want to run home and cry or nothing like that. I'm just smiling, and I just want to make people happy. I want to just share my joy with people. I want to help people get out of depression, because I know the feeling. I know what it's like to feel depressed and be scared to talk to people about it because you're going to be judged. And I wanted to be that safe place for people where, hey, you could come to me because I know, and I'm not going to judge you. Depression gets really dark, and luckily I had support group. I had my support group with Casey, and I had my friends and family, especially my friends. Boy, I had some friends. Jerry taught me off the ledge so many times, and I am forever thankful. I always say that I am one of the luckiest girls to have 4 girlfriends, right? That have helped me, made me who I am today.
Wow.
Because if it wasn't for them, I actually don't know. They've seen me at my worst, and they never judged me. And they've helped me up when I've been on the floor, pretty much. Like, they didn't help me up, they scraped me off the floor, and they held me on until I could able to walk on my own. So for that, I'm very thankful. Yeah.
That's it's so refreshing to hear you talk like that, to see that you have gone through that and you're at this point now. Because but I don't want to take you to your happy zone. I can see that you're now zen and happy. But just let me drag you back a little bit. Then
Yeah, go.
I'm happy that I'm so happy that you're at a place now where you can really say that you have surpassed the hurdles and you're at a happy place in your life. You gave up your dream job, but who knew? Like, you thought that getting to your dream job would be your happy place, but
Mhm.
actually giving it up and being happy was your happy place. I want to take you back to a point in your life. You just talk about darkness, that depression can get dark, and it was a very hard journey. From what I read, there was a point, there was a fire in your apartment and you didn't have your contacts.
Mhm.
And you were on which floor was it?
I was on the top floor.
Floor. Tell us
Mhm.
about that moment. What was that like?
I was on sick leave, and I couldn't wear my contacts, and I just wanted some fried chicken. I was hungry, so I put the pan on, lit the stove, turned around, and then all I just heard was just like poof, and I didn't. I felt the heat and everything, and then I knocked it over. I don't know what got into me, but I just knocked it over to the sink right there, and it just spread. The door was right by the sink, so I couldn't leave because it was all on the door, and I started to panic. I wasn't small enough to jump through the stand up on the sink to jump through the toilet. It was too high to jump through the window that I had. So I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to probably burn to death right now. I was screaming. I don't think anybody was in the building, so nobody could have helped me. And I was just like, I was giving up. And all of a sudden, I just got the courage to just like charge through the front door, because I knew like on the other side there was a fire extinguisher. And I got there and I was like, oh shoot, I don't know how to operate a fire extinguisher. That was like my whole shit everything went bun up inside my apartment. And I just ran with it back inside and the fire was gone.
It was just gone, that
It
disappeared.
was just gone. It was gone.
So I want to bring you back to a little. I don't want to keep bringing you back to the bad stuff. There have been good stuff because you're not living by yourself. You're independent. You mentioned that you couldn't be an auditor. Are you still what? So what do you do now? Because I know you're still working.
Yeah, I mean, I'm back to finance, but I'm an accountant. Yeah.
So you found your place and you're back to the job and God.
I'm in finance.
But there's still a place that is. So you found your happy place. You found your back to career, but you're saying that the dating life is still.
I'm still happy, but I've not found that peak where I know I can be a lot happier, because you can't just, you're happy, but there's a point where you can be your happiest.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, my happiest is impacting other people. Like I want to do a job where I make a difference in somebody else's life.
That's good.
Right. That is my main goal, is to make as many people in this world happy, because there's too many people that are suffering from depression, and you never know what people are going through. Everybody has a different struggles, and I'm not one to ever be like, this struggle is better than this one.
Beauty of real life.
But yeah, so I just want to give back. I want to motivate people. I want to entertain people. I want people, just like how I was able to find my light, doing something that I loved at a point. I want to make what I love into reality. So that could be somebody else's light. That could bring somebody else entertainment. Make them happy. Who knows?
Oh, that's nice.
But for now, this one pays the bills. This one pays the bills.
And speaking of love and light, there is a blog post that you said that it's pretty hard to date, which it's hard for everybody to date.
Yes.
Right?
So don't think that it's just even if dating is a hard thing for many people these days. But you said that, is the dating hard because you just don't want to go out? Dating hard because when you tell people about your condition, they just decide I can't manage.
Dating on a whole, as you said, is so hard. First dates are the hardest. For me, I don't know. I get really nervous, and all I could think about is, when should I tell them that I wait until I was like, okay, when's the perfect moment to tell them, hey, so I kind of can't see without my contacts. Like I really can't see without my contacts. I have an eye disease kind of thing. I don't know when is the timing, because the conversation will be going well. And I'm like, okay, let me say it now. And then it's just a mood killer. And then they just be like, oh, okay.
They're lost, right?
But then there are some guys that are nice.
Yes.
But I don't feel that spark. Right?
Got you.
I need that spark. I don't know. I'm old school. I like connection. That special or something. I want that.
But Shaki, what if you're just supposed to get the person and you start the blaze? Like
looking for love at
first sight.
No, okay. You know something? You said that how because of my looks, another struggle is that people try to be something that they're not. So on first dates, I do deal with that type of guy that I know that this is not you, but you're trying really hard to impress me. I don't mind you're trying to impress me, just be yourself. So I want that guy that because I found him, I think. I don't know. Right?
I was just about to say the way she said guy sounds like she has somebody in mind when she said guy.
Shaki, your father will see this.
Wow, congrats. Wow, this is nice. This is good.
But yeah, just somebody that I know that they're being themselves, and it's either I like you or I don't like you, and we click. We just understand it's nothing, because love's supposed to be easy. Relationships supposed to be easy. I don't like when you start off being something that you're not, and then when I do like you, you become who you are, and I'm like, okay, there's a disconnect there.
Yeah. But I'm happy. So everything is coming full circle
Yeah.
and all of that. But when I read your blog, I just said, you know what? Oftentimes we just get lost in our careers and in living life how we want to live life. So now listening to your story, for me, you have come full circle. So you've gone through the pain and the fear and the wanting what you want and not moving on the timing of God. And we were talking, and you say you're a Christian in the making, just like myself, working 20 years and trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
So he's still working on you.
Yeah, he's working on me. He's there. He's about 60%. It will come. My day, I'm 60% there. And it's just now to see that you found love. You found your way back to financing. You got the degree. You got your dream, but it's just that it didn't happen in the way you anticipated.
Yeah.
And it just shows the beauty of life. Like you can go through all the struggle and it seems as if things gonna go right, and then everything. So I'm happy that your story is now at a place where it's a beautiful story. No,
It's been a struggle. It's been a journey. Don't even know the journey. It's been a long, rocky journey. And in the 21st century, a lot of guys are just about hit and run.
yeah.
And I'm not about that. There was never guys pretending to be who they're not. You don't feel a connection.
Shaki, you're big on connection though.
I'm big on sparks.
Oh, huge. Sometimes when I'm talking to Shaki, I feel like it's a Disney episode. You know? I have to tell Shaki, this is real life. This is real life.
The same way she said, come close to the board. Come close to the board. You said, listen to me, you're gonna learn it today. Not bother with this.
Oh yeah. And she had Shaki never used to test you?
Yes, used to give me tests.
But before we play the game, I know you have attached to your blog, there is a part of it where you can contribute, which I'm doing. So I'm urging anybody who sees this to contribute. You can contribute to PayPal. You're starting a foundation. Tell us more about that and what you plan to do to bring awareness about this eye disease in the Caribbean.
I wanted to take it a step further than just talking about it, because I know how expensive, it's very expensive, keratoconus could be, especially if you're not from the US, you don't have insurance, and I need bigger countries. It's hard to get products, to travel and see the doctors and everything. So this is my initiative to give back to people that cannot afford it, that need that little more, just a little more to add up to be able to afford products or see a visit, do 1D treatments, get a contact lens, a proper contact lens, so they don't have to worry. Because you're worrying a lot about your eyes. I don't want them to worry about, oh, can I afford this? That's too much of a burden for them. So I want to create this foundation to give back. And I hopefully the years to come, it's going to take a while, but the years to come, I want to be able to give back even more, where I could cover someone's full cross-linking treatment or pay for a full doctor's visit, doctor consultant, anything, right? By just writing me and telling me, okay, hey, this is my struggle, this is what I'm struggling with, and I would give it to them.
In your keratoconus journey, I like that. Where are you in your journey? Are you okay with your contact lenses now? Will you be doing the transplant?
No, I don't. I'm not thinking. I'm hoping that technology somehow create something where I don't have to do the transplant, because to me it's too risky.
What
That's my personal.
What
Pardon?
what does a transplant involve? How is it done? What do you need to do?
Well, they it's a surgery where you remove your cornea and you put it's replaced by a donor's cornea. So they have donor's cornea in the hospital and they would just fit it. But there's not a lot of tests you can do to see, hey, maybe this would fit, because your body can reject it over time. It can realize, okay, this is not the cornea for me, and just reject it. And then you have to replace it. So to me, it's a trial and error. And I don't have the tears and to go through all of that again. Not again, but like any like pain, infection, I don't want that. So right now, my contact lenses are fine, and I'm able to maneuver through my life and balance it. I'm better at that. So I'm good with that.
Oh, that's good. And when you say donors cornea in
Mhm.
hospitals, so just like to be clear, organ donors like
Okay.
from the US, so they would have
Mhm.
signed up before they've passed, and that's what are stored, and you can choose. You don't get to choose the cornea, right?
No, you don't choose it. They just give it. They
They
just put
give
it
you a
on.
match. They try to find a good match. So you're now at a good place. You can see. I remember at one point you said you're in Miami and you were like, Mom, I can see. I can see.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you can see you've re-entered your profession. Life is great. You're in love. The beaches are open.
I won't say love
She
yet.
didn't say she's in love, and okay, you're
I
trying to put
never
this girl in trouble. She did not
Please
say
don't
she's
jump the
in
gun.
love. She
Please
did say,
don't jump.
I think I found him. Do not say the word love. You're putting her in trouble.
Jackie, let them know. Do not jump the
She
gun.
did not say. She did not say
Gosh.
Because next thing the guy come and watch
She's in
this
love.
and he was like, "Oh, she loved me." I was like, and he ran away. So
All right, so we want me to take that part out.
no, leave it, leave it, because yeah.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot. I'm so happy that you have decided to talk to us, Shaki. I'm so excited, and I'm happy for you that you're starting a foundation after everything. I'm happy that you're now at a better place. I am surprised that nobody knew except Parry in terms of persons who lived on Hall. I am really impressed by your strength and your ambition, your drive, your quest for independence, and all of that. And I'm amazed how you have come full circle from that dark place and what you have described as a dark place to a place now where you're happy. And to me, that is something that it has taught me personally today to, and from the time I read your blog, to be more grateful, to be more grateful and be more thankful, and to stop and look at myself, even at this age, and not pay attention about the career, because that too will come. You understand? If we take care of our
Yeah.
the career will come, other things will come, but the health, which is, you hear people say it all the time that your health is the most important thing, but just hearing your story and hearing an actual account of how you ignored your health, but still in the end, when you start paying attention to your health, you were still able to achieve everything else. That to me is impressive.
That concludes our
I'm really
episode
happy
with
that you took the
Shakeila
time to
John.
talk to us. And
Do
hopefully you can
remember
talk
to
to us
like,
again on another
subscribe,
topic at some
and
point.
share. Thank you for watching. One Caribbean, many voices, Caribbean perspectives.